Hi, this is Rick Bice with Bice Fit Exercises on behalf of Edmonds Park and Recreation. Today we're going to go through a circuit training class. What we'll do is we'll alternate between strength training exercises for the muscles, bones, and connective tissues, and then cardiovascular exercise for the heart, lungs, and circulatory system. What we'll do, it's all timed, so what we'll do is we'll do a minute on an exercise. We'll take a 30-second break. We'll do another minute on the same exercise or something very similar, and then we'll move on to the next exercise. So I'll call all those out as they happen. What you'll need for this exercise program today is a chair over here, maybe some light to medium dumbbells, and some resistance tubing or band. Maybe light or medium, whatever you have on that. With or without handles, doesn't matter on that. We will begin with a warm-up. We will go through the exercises, then we'll finish off with a cool down and then some stretches at the end. This is all at your own pace, so we strive for a minute's worth of work. If you need to take your breaks, quicker than that, or if by the end of the minute you're not tired or fatigued, you could just go straight through that break that we have. So it's all up to you, the kind of resistance you use, whatever works for your body. Make sure your surrounding area is clear, that you've got room to move around, arm's width sort of stuff at least. You have a proper footwear for the floor that you have. If you've got slippery hardwoods, make sure that you're wearing good shoes that aren't going to slip and slide. If you've got thick carpet, making sure that your feet aren't going to get, isn't going to get caught on the carpet or something and trip you up. So just being careful. All right, let's begin. Okay, let's begin our warm-up. I'm going to do a little bit of side tapping to start. So we got about a 2-minute warm-up here. Start a little bit of a grab across the body. Nice and easy with the warm-up. We are just looking to get some blood flow to the muscles, grease up the joints, get some oxygen in the body, get the lungs starting to stretch out and move, get the heart beating a little faster. A little bit of a heel tap. Pretty easy. By the end of this, barely breaking a sweat, if that. When we get to the cardios, they'll be similar, but a little quicker paced and a little longer. Now let's switch it up here. I'm going to do a shoulder press and a march. We call this the ladder climb, like you're climbing up a ladder. I'm going to try to use the joints and muscles that we'll be using with the exercises. So again, just to kind of warm them up, get them ready. Got about 50 seconds left. All right. Gonna hinge forward slightly, getting the hips involved, shoulders, palms can face in or back, but the limbs are pretty straight. And I'm just pushing backwards with the legs and the arms. Keep breathing, keep moving, just consistent movement. All right, back to a regular march here. We got 20 seconds. And let's get some bicep curls in. And knee curls. So bending those knees as far as you can comfortably. Working the hamstring. Almost there. All right. Nice job there. Okay, first thing we have is a single leg squat. Now, I'm going to grab a chair to help with balance. You can try to do this freestanding or do this next to a wall or chair or windowsill. All we're going to do is a squat. We're just going to shift our weight to a single leg as we do it. Now, you can actually lift your leg up the whole time, or you can just keep your toe on the ground and shift 90% of your weight on the leg. It kind of all depends on what works for you. Same sort of thing, but instead of having hip or feet about hip to shoulder width apart. You're going to bring that foot in just a little bit so it's really under the hip and not out where the shoulder is. Okay. Same sort of thing though, as I take a seat, I'm sticking the rear out. Okay. I'm not going to let that knee bend and go forward. I'm going to take a seat back and back up. And I'll just keep a toe on the ground more for balance. But again, 90-95% of my weight is on this front leg. And I'm trying to keep that knee from going forward. It's going to, go around to the shoelace area, but not forward past the toes. Now, how deep you go is up to you. I'm doing, fairly shallow. You can go down, as far as 90 degrees or having the thigh parallel to the floor. It just kind of depends on what's comfortable for you. I'm leaning forward, hinging slightly, keeping my chest and weight over that foot. We got about 8 seconds. Keep going here. Keep breathing. All right, take a break there. So what I'll do is we got a 30-second break, and then I will go to the left leg. Again, same sort of thing. I'm just going to make sure that I'm keeping my balance mostly with this foot and hand on the chair. Again, 90-95% of my weight is on the leg that I'm squatting with. So catch your breath. Make sure your joints are feeling good. Got 5 seconds. So in position. And let's start up here. I can feel this leg is a little weaker, so I am helping myself a little bit more with this back leg. And you may have to do that. If you've got one leg that's a little stronger than the other, it may need a little more help. This is almost like a lunge position. Just got to do something with the leg, right? As far as trying to keep it out of the way. Same sort of thing. I'm breathing. Low back is straight. I'm allowing my chest and my shoulders to go over the foot as I hinge forward. And then just going down as deep as I can comfortably and trying to allow this left leg to push as much weight as it can. A couple more seconds. One more. All right. Nice job. Well done. Okay, so next one we're going to get rid of the chair, and you'll need your mat. We've got the next two on the floor. And you'll need both dumbbells for this one. So laying on your back on this. We're going to do a dumbbell press. All right. All right. So once you're on your back, we're going to go through the pelvic tilt. So rotating that pelvis backwards, flattening that low back into the ground. Okay. Brace the abdominals, hold that position. So knees are up and feet are flat. I'm going to pretend like I have a bar connected here. And I'm going to press my hands up towards the ceiling, straighten the elbows, and then back down nice and slow. Hands come apart till the elbows touch and rest on the ground. And then back up again. All while keeping the abdominals nice and tight. Nice firm grip, dry hands on those dumbbells. You don't want to have one slip off and land on your face. Now we don't get as much range of motion as on a bench because our elbows and arms are stopped by the ground here. So you could always do this if you have a workout bench, laying down and using this instead. All right, you can take a break there. So a little more balance, of course, will have to happen if you're on a workout bench as opposed to on the ground here. Real easy to keep yourself sitting. Just gonna check this mic out, make sure it's okay. Sorry for the noise there. All right, so let's get in position again. Tighten those abdominals. Make sure you breathe the whole time. Pelvic tilt. All right, let's begin. So press all the way up and back down. When I go up, the hands can come together, dumbbells can touch, and then nice and slow, hands will come apart, and then finish off kind of around armpit, shoulder width, a little wider than armpits here. Palms are facing down towards my feet. And I want to keep my forearms and wrists straight. And basically the hands will end up right about neck height as far as what they're above, not right above your face. They're going to be in line with gravity, so right above your shoulders and neck. And really, don't let those dumbbells clang too hard together, especially if they're not rubber. You don't want paint chips coming off into your face. All right, nice job. Well done. Okay, so next one we're going to do is on your hands and knees. So you need the mat and dumbbells again. All right, pulling these guys around. Give the hands a break. So what we're going to do here is on the hands and knees. This is a modified renegade row. So instead of being in a plank position with your feet back, we're going to be on the knees and hands. And then what we're going to do is we're going to row back one at a time. So as you row, your weight's going to be on your knees and then on one hand. So these can roll quite a bit. These dumbbells that I have, they're not the hex, they're round. So I've got to really make sure that when I row, my other arm isn't going to roll all around. So keeping your weight on the dumbbell, keeping the abdominals tight. I'm going to just row. And what I'll do is I'll alternate. Bring the dumbbell right up to the top of the ribs. Elbow goes up towards the ceiling. I'm going to squeeze that shoulder blade towards my spine. So I'm getting some upper back work here. I'm getting some work on the shoulders and arms, having to hold this position. And then abdominals and back and hip, having to do a little bit of work. A little bit of work on the hands, not the most comfortable. What you can also do is just put your hand on the ground and row. And then pick up the dumbbell and row. Okay, so you don't have to take a break there. You don't have to plant with the dumbbell. It's just this, if you're holding the dumbbell, gives you a little bit more room to pull up, another 1.5 inches as opposed to if I'm flat on the ground here, I don't have a lot of range of motion. If I'm up here, got a little bit more range of motion to pull. It's just not as comfortable on the hands. So do whatever feels comfortable for you, either having the hands flat on the ground and grabbing the dumbbell each time and setting it down, or hands on the dumbbells. And again, they're facing this way. So as opposed to, you don't want them up like this, you want palms facing in. All right, so let's begin again. So abdominals tight, a little bit of a pelvic tilt here. Roll back, set that back down, switch your weight over, set it back down, switch your weight. Try to keep your wrists straight. And keep breathing. Keep that elbow straight, the one that's holding you. And again, you can always switch back and forth. Whatever's comfortable for you. Elbow goes straight up. Forearm is still facing the floor. And squeeze that shoulder blade. Squeeze that shoulder blade towards your spine. All right, nice job there. Let's get rid of these. Get rid of the dumbbell. Get rid of your mat. We have a cardio next here. Just holding that position is some work, let alone adding the rows in. All right, so cardiovascular, same thing as the warm-up. You can get going right away after we finish the previous exercise, or there's a transition of a good 30 seconds in between. We've got about 9 seconds before we officially start, so you can grab grab water, clear your space, make sure you have nothing to trip over. I'll begin here. All right, officially going 2 minutes and 20 seconds. Got my breathing up already just on that last exercise. Some exercises will take a little bit more work and muscle. So we are actively trying to get the heart rate elevated now, more so than the warm-up. So I'm going to stagger my pattern here, back to the middle, and I'm just a little toe tap on the sides and then back up top. Think of the talk test. If you can talk like I am, out loud, and you can be understood and you're not too out of breath, then you're probably okay. That's about where you need to be for working. That's about 70% of your maximum heart rate, which is great for a little bit of endurance and fat burning mostly. If you can't talk, then you're probably working a little harder than you need to on this. But it's all, depending on what kind of work you want for your cardio. All right, a little bit of march and a bicep curl. What we want is just consistent movement for the whole time. Got about 1 minute and 10 seconds left. You can do what I'm doing or something different if you've got, aerobic classes you've done before, or martial arts or sports, or maybe you've got a treadmill or a bicycle in the room with you, jump rope, aerobic step, stairs, anything you want to do during this cardio, whatever gets your heart rate up consistently for that 2 minutes and 30 seconds or so. About 40 seconds. Just want to consistently move, keep the heart rate elevated. We spike it up through this, and then hopefully, that heart rate will carry through a little higher as we do the next couple exercises, and then we'll need to spike it up again to keep it up into that 70% max range or more. All right, let's do a little side step with some scissors for the last 10 seconds. Palms up, elbows are tucked into the sides. And I'm just side stepping and tapping. All right, nice job there. Whew, well done. Okay, so next thing I'm going to do is a dumbbell snatch and clean. So you're going to need 2 dumbbells. You can do the single or we're going to do a double. It's all up to you. So what we're going to do here, pretend like kind of like these are connected with the bar. So instead of here though, we're going to allow the freedom of the dumbbell to kind of at an angle to where my palms are facing my thighs, but they're also facing in slightly. So what I'm going to do, feet a good hip to shoulder width apart. I'm going to squat down, and then at about knee height, I'm going to explode up and then shoulder press, and then back down and nice and slow back down. Okay, until I'm at the start. Now I'm going to slowly keep my back straight, chest and head forward, squat down, keeping the weights close to me at about knee height, or so when I'm touching my knees almost. I'm going to stand up and then pull them up and straighten those elbows. Okay, so on the way up, kind of explosive. On the way down, nice and slow. Use a little momentum to pull those dumbbells up as you stand. Nice and controlled on the way down. And then as you go into that shoulder press, rotate the forearms a little bit to where, again, they're sitting here facing each other. And now up straight with those elbows, back down onto the shoulders, and then let them drop back down. I got one last one here. Up. There you go. So again, nice and slow on the way down, controlled, but on the way up, we want some momentum. We want some explosiveness. So not only are you standing up and bringing those hips forward quickly, but as you do that, you're going to get momentum in order to get those dumbbells to rack here above the shoulders, and then you go into that shoulder press, okay? So from here, it's not just a simple bicep curl, we're just pulling it like this, almost like a reverse curl with momentum to get it up there. All right, so nice controlled, good firm grip on those dumbbells, dry hands. We don't want them going anywhere. Let's start again. So down nice and slow, and then up, shoulder press, and then back down and back down. Nice and slow. And we're going to snatch it up and clean to the top there and back down. Head and chest facing forward the whole time. That low back is straight. Maintain good posture, good breathing. Up about 20 seconds. Heavier the dumbbells, the more the momentum is going to work. Lighter dumbbells, you're not going to have to worry too much about using momentum to get those dumbbells up. I'm really having to accentuate the momentum here with the dumbbells because these are just not too heavy. All right, well done there. Nice job. Let's get rid of our dumbbells. What do we got next? Seated 4-way lean. So you're going to need your chair for this. And if you want some resistance, grab a dumbbell or a kettlebell, whatever you have, bag of sugar, whatever you're using for resistance. So we have a 4-way lean. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sit on the front half of the chair so that I have room to lean back if I want to, okay? So this 4-way lean, we're going to lean backwards, getting the abdominals to kick in. We're going to side bend a little bit. We're going to come forward and lean, and then side bend the other way, okay? So 4 different directions, making sure this chair isn't going to slide around too much. If you want, you can hold on to some weight. Let's begin. So how far you lean back is up to you, to the sides, all right? But just make sure that your legs are giving you some good support. All right. Keep breathing the whole time. Your feet can come off the ground if you want to. It just all depends on how secure you feel and how secure your chair is, whether it's going to slide or tip over at all. You want to make sure and just kind of read how your body's doing, read what the chair is doing under you. And just use your legs to kind of help support you, but try, from your waist and up, do the leaning, and let your abdominals and your torso muscles and your back muscles pull you back up to center. All right, take a break there. So again, with or without resistance on this, using your body weight or add a little dumbbell or something to help out on the resistance. Oh, I've got microphone falling off here. Fix that. Good timing at least. All right, so let's try it again in position. A couple more seconds here. All right, so leaning back and then coming back to center, and then a side bend, back to center, and then forward. Let your low back pull you back up, back to center, and then to the opposite side bend, and then back up, okay? Keeping that weight a little higher at chest height too will accentuate the weight that it gives you, as opposed to keeping it down by the belly. So keeping it up nice and high. And if you keep it close to you, a little easier. If I keep that weight out, it's going to be a little bit tougher as it pulls me, okay? It's going to want to pull me over, and I'm going to want to have to lift myself back up. There you go. A couple more here. All right, nice job. Okay, what do we have here? We've got the side bends, so let's grab resistance tubing here. Make sure that mic is on tight. Get rid of your chair. So, with or without handles, up to you. So a side bend, what I'm going to do is I'm going to step on the band and have it come out on the outside and up to my hand where I can hold on. So what I want to do is I want to find just the right resistance. I want, as I stand up straight, I want some resistance and pull already before I even move. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to side bend the opposite direction. Kind of like what we just did with the side bends. This now is just going to add a little more resistance. So more work on the obliques. Try not to let the hips move. You don't want to do this sort of thing with the hips. You want this all to be from the waist up. So I'm going to side bend away as far as I can, and then come back to neutral and a little further in towards the hand that's holding. Head is just looking normal, facing forward along with the chest. Breathing, think good posture. Try to relax your shoulders. Nice grip on the handle. And of course, enough weight on this band that it's not going to pop up, out from under your foot here. And I've just got feet about shoulder width apart. All right, take a break there. All right, so second set, I'm going to switch to the other side. You can switch at any time or try for the whole minute. And I'm just stepping right, kind of, having to come out from the arch of my foot. And as I stand up straight, a little bit of pull to begin with before I even start to side bend. So we got about 8 seconds here, getting in position. Palm is going to face your the outside of your thigh here. And let's begin. So now I'm going to side bend in. And remember, you can always adjust your resistance anytime by where you're standing on that band. And it doesn't matter if you have a handle or not. You can just hold on to the end of the band. And I need a little more resistance here, so I'm going to step a little closer to the handle. The closer I step to this handle, the more resistance I'm going to get. Or if I have different bands, I find a band that's a little stronger, a little thicker, if I want more resistance. And again, try as best you can, just from the waist up, not letting the hips get involved by swinging side to side. And just side bend as far as you can. We got about 5 seconds here. One more. All right, nice job. Okay, next up is a cardio, so getting rid of your band, making sure your space is clean and ready to go. You can get going right away, or we got about 32 seconds of transition here, so it's all up to you. I'm going to grab a sip of water. Remember to have your water or water bottle close by. Just keep taking sips periodically. You want to stay hydrated. All right, I'm going to start with some marching here. Get back a little further. And I'm going to go with a wide march. You can do what I'm doing or something else. Got the arms pumping here too. All right, so officially going about 2 minutes and 22 seconds. I'm going to step forward and then go backwards. Try to keep in the frame here. Now, keep in mind, how close you are to the walls or how much space you have. You may have more or less space than I do, so that will determine how many steps you take forward and backwards. And of course, making sure there's nothing to trip on, especially when you're going backwards. I'm in a nice wide stance here, and I'm going to go back to a narrow march. And let's go forward narrow, and then backwards wide. Forward narrow, and backwards wide. Just consistent movement. Forward narrow, backwards wide. Forward narrow, and backwards wide. All right, back to a narrow march here. And let's go to some side steps. And then I'm going to do kind of a backstroke here, swimming, leading with the pinky. Nice big circle. Looking good there. Again, just consistent motion. We want to keep you moving. Forward 45 seconds. And now I'm going to switch up here to a uppercut. Just punching up and across my body. Still doing kind of a side step or side tap, whatever works for you. 30 seconds left. All right, back to a march and some forward punches. And how fast you do things is up to you. You can go faster or slower than what I'm doing. All depends on the kind of workout that your body needs. About 5 seconds. Keep it up. Keep breathing. All right, well done. Okay, grab some water. We got our next one here. So circle, shrugs, and heel raises. So you'll need dumbbells again for this. 2 dumbbells. All right, so I'll show you what we're doing. So circle shrug, we're going to let the arms dangle at your sides with the dumbbells in the hands here. And we're going to make a circle. So kind of forward, up, and back, and down. This is all in the shoulders and hunching. Elbows are just straight, just letting the arms dangle. And we're going forward, up, back, and down. All right, so let's begin. And what we can do is add the heel raise to it. This is going to take a little work on balance. So nice and slow up on my toes, around. And then as my hands come down, then I go back down too. So as I go up on the heels, around. You can also switch. So I can go backwards, up, and forward with the shoulders. So the circles can be forward or backwards. And then wherever you feel comfortable, getting that heel raise in. Or you can do it separately. Up to you. Whatever's comfortable for your balance, for your coordination. We got about 10 seconds. Let the arms just dangle. Wrists are straight. This is all in the shoulders. Neck and head are just looking forward. All right, take a break there. I'm going to give my grip a rest. So we're working upper trapezius between the neck and shoulder. Okay, we're getting calf muscles from the heel raise. All right, just go, as high as you can on those toes. Working the calf muscles, and then either forwards or backwards with that shoulder circle, the shrug circle there. Okay, getting some work, of course, holding those dumbbells. So forearms and grip are getting some work. Kettlebells, dumbbells, whatever you're using. I'll do the side here. So I'm going to go forward and up and down. Let's begin again. Forward, up, and then as you go back with the shoulders, squeeze those shoulder blades together towards your spine. Feet are a good, hip width apart. Keep your balance. If you need to do one arm at a time and hold onto a chair or a wall or something, you can do that. Or just take the shrugs and the heel raises apart and do them separately. Nice and controlled. Shrug up as high as you can, keeping your neck and head facing forward. All right, nice job. Okay, so next we're going to need your chair. Or I'm sorry, no, we're not going to need a chair. You're going to need a wall or a door and 1 dumbbell. Okay, so wall sit. You can do this on a door or a wall, any place that you have a little bit of room for your body. Now, what you want to make sure is that it's solid, of course, especially if it's a door. Make sure it's not something that can open accidentally, or someone that can, coming in, behind you can open the door. All right, you want to make sure that it's not going to move. So same thing with the feet. I want to make sure, I've got hardwoods here, so I want to make sure I've got tacky shoes that aren't going to slip out and have me land on my rear. All right, so what I'll do is is I want to sit down, and it's just a small wall sit, but you want your feet out in front of you far enough that when you sit down, your knees are above those shoelaces. You don't want your heels against the wall and then you bend those knees and the knees go forward past the toes. Your hips and low back are going to be on the wall. Maybe your shoulders and shoulder blades, it's up to you, but you're going to squat down, and then as you hold that position, we're going to stir a big pot of soup. So use that dumbbell with both hands at about chest height, and you're just going to stir a pot of soup clockwise, counterclockwise, it doesn't matter. It can be a small pot or it can be a large pot where maybe even your torso rotates slightly as you do this. And then if you need a break, stand up and get back into position, kind of slide down that wall and then hold that position. However, how low you want to sit is all up to you. All right, we can take a break there. How low you sit is all up to you. Just make sure that number one, whatever you're sitting and leaning against is solid. Again, doors closed, nice and solid, or if you can do it on the other side of the door that pushes against the jamb, even better. Something that's not, then nobody can open it or come in from behind if you're using a door. And then of course floor too. All right, if my shoes and the floor are a little slippery, the possibility of the shoes slipping out and landing on your rear. So really making sure that those feet are not going anywhere when you're sitting in this position, however deep it is. And then of course making sure that the feet are out in front of you far enough that when you sit down, however deep you go, the knees are lining up with the shoelaces and not going forward past the toes. All right, so let's get going again. Too much talking here for me. All right, so about 35, 36 seconds here. So again, you might try, okay, I'm going to do 5 circles in each direction and then stand up and give the legs a break and then sit again. It's all up to you. But we're getting some shoulder, some deltoid work here. We're getting some arm work, and then we're getting a lot of thighs and glutes in the rear. Abdominals and low back having to stabilize, hamstrings. So just keep moving that dumbbell around like you're stirring a big pot of soup, round and round. All right, well done. Okay, so we're going to need, get rid of the dumbbell, and you'll need your resistance tubing again. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to do a bicep curl. So I'm going to stand with my heel, or on the arch or whatever, on that, just like we did for the what did we do? There we go. We did those side bends where we had it tight. So now a bicep curl here. So you can have the palm facing forward, or it can rotate in facing your body and then rotate forward and up as you curl. So we're just going to bend that elbow and let it straighten. Bend fully and straighten fully. Nice and controlled, nothing but the elbow moving. Okay, so that's the bicep curl. So what we're going to do, if you want, grab a chair, but what we're going to do is just knee up. So one arm and one leg. I'm going to bend that knee, working the hamstring, the back of the thigh, and then I'm bending that elbow, working the bicep, front upper arm. And you can only do, one arm at a time, one leg at a time, because you've got to stand on the band with the other foot. Enough weight, of course, that it's not going to, pop out from under your foot. You can do this without holding on. If you want to work on your balance too, don't hold on to anything. But again, just the elbow moving and just the knee moving, shifting your weight, as you stand. All right, take a break there. So what I'll do is I'm now going to switch to the other side. So kind of remember, where you stand will dictate how tough it is, where you stand on that band. So just kind of play around until you get just the right spot. Remember, we're going to shoot for a minute of work, so you don't want it too heavy to where after 30 seconds you're already failing. You want to be able to keep this up for the whole minute and want to be done by the end of that minute. All right, let's begin here. So you got your bicep curls and then the knee curl. And I'm just basically shifting my weight from both feet to one foot as I, lift that back leg up as if I'm trying to kick myself in the rear. Just bending that knee as far as you can, and then bending your elbow as far as you can also. Controlled. Don't let that rubber band pull you back down. Resist it. And again, hold on if you need to for balance, or if you want a little more of a challenge, don't hold on. But again, good posture. Relax those shoulders. Slow and controlled. Head's looking forward. Breathing. Nice grip. 10 seconds. Almost there. All right, nice job there. Okay, so getting rid of your resistance tubing, clearing out your space. We have our last cardio. So I'll get rid of this chair. I'm going to grab a quick sip of water. Remember, you can get going right away if you want. So we got about 22 seconds of little break here if you want it. Otherwise, get going right away on your cardio. I'm going to do some side stepping here. Some grab and pull down. How fast you go is up to you. Remember, whatever you need to do to get that heart rate elevated. Okay, here we go. And we got 2 minutes and 18 seconds left. So I'm going to speed this up a little bit. Grabbing and pulling down. Working the shoulders, working those biceps, a little more of the back. Outside of the hips and thighs, doing some work on this. All right. Just kind of a little point here, just pointing. And a little twist here with the toe tap. Keep it comfortable, no pain, no discomfort. Just consistent motion, trying to get your heart and your breathing up. All right, do some kicking. Just kick forward. All right, let's switch here. Keep moving. I'm not kicking hard or anything, just kicking my leg out. All right, nice job. Let's go back to some side tapping here. Some scissors again. Elbows are tucked in, bent at about 90 degrees, palms are up, facing up. 25 seconds. Remember, the bigger movements you do, more muscles involved, the more breathing and air it takes. There you go. All right, a little bit of a tricep kick back here and a toe tap for the last couple seconds. All right, nice job. Let's slow it up. Now we're going to cool down a little bit. We're going to add some balancing, some dynamic balance in as we cool down. So same kind of movements that we were doing with cardio and our warm-ups, just again slower here. We want to actively bring our heart rate back down below 100 beats per minute. Just trying to make things a little easier. A little shoulder blade squeeze here. I want to keep moving. I don't want to stop moving, but I want to move slow enough that it's not causing the heart rate to go up or the breathing to go up. Nice and easy. Great time to just grab some water, walk around while you drink. Keep moving. We don't want to stop moving at all. All right, I'm going to do a little balance here. Let me shut this timer off. So first thing we're going to do is a tightrope walk, okay? So we're going to pretend like we have a tightrope that's about as wide as our hips. We're going to take a nice big step, real easy, okay? Real easy tightrope. Make sure you have a little bit of room to move around if you want. So what I'll do is I'm going to use a dumbbell. I'm going to bring it up and down in front of me as I walk the tightrope, okay? You may, maybe you take one step and then you turn around. It all depends on how big of a space you have. I can take a good 5 steps. All right, now I'm going to pretend this tightrope's a little thinner, so about as wide as 2 of my feet. And I'm going to walk with my feet a little closer together. Not quite heel to toe, but getting there. Okay, now I'm going to go backwards. Again, if you're going backwards, just know what's around you, how many steps you can take before you run into things. All right, and now I'm going to go and make this tightrope even thinner, so it's as wide as one of my feet, and I'm going to go heel to toe. I'm just going to hold the dumbbell out in front for now, heel to toe. That's the toughest it's going to get as far as tightrope wise. And then of course, if you move your arms around, let's say I go forward and back. Okay, forward and back with the dumbbell. As I'm doing that heel to toe, it's going to work the balance and coordination at the same time. All right, backwards one more time. All right, nice job. Let's get rid of the dumbbell. So again, we're still moving, so it's it's helping our cool down, but we're not moving fast enough that the heart rate should be elevating. If you are, then move a little slower, make it easier for yourself. Okay. All right, so let's do some sleeping dog. So think about if you have a small Chihuahua sleeping, you're going to step over, nice and easy. Maybe you have, say I've got 3 of them all lined up in a row. Okay. And now I'm going to step back over. Pretty easy with a small dog. Now I've got a larger dog, so now I've got to step a bigger step. Okay. And maybe I've got a Great Dane, so it's a really huge step. Whatever you can muster. Nice and easy. Okay. Now we got a dog that's about ready to wake up. So I go to step. And now I've got to freeze. And maybe I freeze for a second or 2 seconds or 5 seconds. Step and freeze. Into that single leg balance. Step and freeze. Don't want that dog to wake up. And now back over. And again, how big that dog is up to you. How big of a step you take. And then how long you freeze for. But we're working the balance here. One more time around. Whoops, forgot to freeze there. So step and then freeze. And one more. Step and freeze. All right, nice job. Great job with the balance. Should be cooled down decently. Well, let's finish off with some stretches. So first stretch, we're going to stretch the back of the thigh. So I'm going to squat down. Lean forward slightly, hinge from the hips. Leg and toes are forward in front of me, pointing up and forward. And I'm just going to lean forward, digging in the heel on that front leg until I feel a stretch along the back of my thigh, behind my knee, maybe in the calf. Could be in the rump or the low back. You just want to feel that stretch, nice and gentle, no discomfort. Most of your weight's on this leg that you're standing on, of course. Let's try the other leg. Real gentle, no bouncing, no jerking. Keep breathing like normal. And then we try to hold a good 20 or 30 seconds if we can on a stretch. Really allow the body to relax. Let that muscle lengthen. Try to relax your thigh. Try not to flex it or anything. All right, nice job there. Next stretch, we're going to work the upper and middle back. So first we're going to pelvic tilt like we did with those, the dumbbell presses laying on our back today. So that pelvic tilt where I thrust the hips forward. I'm going to squeeze the cheeks together on the rear. That low back is going to straighten out. And once I got that position, interlace my fingers together, push my hands away from my body as far as I can, rounding out the upper and middle back. Those wrists are bending. I can feel some stretch in my forearms also. Head is going to stay neutral. You're going to keep breathing. Just hold that position. Round out and stretch that upper and middle back. All right, one more stretch. So arms up here, 90-degree angle between the elbow and the hand and the armpit and the elbow. And then what I'll do is I'm going to go backwards. Bring those arms back, squeezing my shoulder blades together. Open up my chest and front shoulders. Keep breathing, nice deep breaths. You can lean back a little. Bring those hands together if you want a little bit more of a stretch, or behind your ears, whatever gives you a good stretch. And then let's straighten those elbows. Palms are up, thumbs are back. And again, open up real wide. Let's drop the fingers down. So we're going to stretch the wrists and palms of your hands, forearms, along with our chest. Keep breathing. All right, nice job. Give everything a little shake. Okay, thanks for being here. Nice workout today.